Good morning, good afternoon, and welcome. Thank you for joining our Shades of Green session. I'm really glad of having you here and hope you will enjoy our presentation. Shade by shade towards a greener future, and above all, our strong commitment as a heat transfer solutions provider for a more sustainable development and greener planet. Let's start our journey. Let me show you all different shades of green. Different shades of green, or better said, all different ways how Kelvin products contribute and will contribute to a greener future and better world for next generations. When we develop, design, manufacture and maintain all heat exchangers from our portfolio, we really think beyond the equipment itself and reflect on how our heat exchangers will contribute to minimize our impact into the environment. Think about something. How many heat exchangers achieve and optimize heat recovery and therefore energy savings into a wide range of industries and processes? Proper heat integration and optimized heat recovery systems drastically reduce CO2 emissions and minimize the impact on cooling systems. We are all part of this mission, from good designers providing optimized heat integrations to heat exchanger companies like Kelvin, providing quality products and services. Moving beyond equipment, Kelvin keeps supporting our customers with a strong and worldwide service organization and in one unique goal: help our customers to extend the performance of our heat exchangers along their entire lifetime. This is our mission and our commitment. Within our service organization in Kelvin, we strongly understand the impact of performance degradation in heat exchangers, not only from our customers' profitability standpoint, but also from the severe impact caused to the environment when a well-optimized heat exchanger does not perform over the time. That really matters, and Kelvin is strongly committed to become your partner, developing our services and work hard to maximize performance, not only of our heat exchangers, also for our entire organization. As I said before, let's start our journey. Let me show you our green shades of heat exchangers. In this slide, we have summarized our main shades of green. Let me start with thermal efficiency. As explained before, this is of course our main aim as a heat exchanger company: develop, design, and deliver the most thermal efficient solution to our customers. But I would like again to emphasize the importance of looking beyond the datasheet of heat exchanger and understand how we as Kelvin can contribute to keep the thermal efficiency over the time. Somehow our next green shade, emission reduction, is a positive consequence of providing the most thermal efficient exchanger. We can of course work on greenfield projects and support engineers in optimizing thermal systems. But I am personally extremely proud when one of our engineers support our customers to recover waste heats and see the impact on CO2 emission reduction. Energy savings is somehow connected with previous ones, but I would like to show you a different perspective. Pushing for more direct or indirect heat integration really makes a big difference from a profitability as well as environmental impact perspective. Performance reliability, our next green shade, and this is to me, as part of our service organization, one of my most important goals and motivations: how we can support our customers to deal with heat exchanger performance and keep it over the time. We'll get into the details later in this session indeed. Lifetime extension. Kelvin keeps developing our service portfolio in order to reduce downtime of heat exchangers and make sure our customers get the best and longest possible performance over the time. Last but not least, how a well-optimized Kelvin heat exchanger reduces needed footprint and how it impacts material consumption like pipes, valve, steel structure. Lifetime extension of our heat exchangers is our priority and critical mission for Kelvion services indeed. I would like now to go deeper into how Kelvion is able to influence and support our clients. As you can see into this slide, we represent with this simple graph the potential impact of a proper service development, increasing performance and lifetime of our heat exchangers. You can also see below our 5 key pillars in Kelvion that group all our service offering. Startup and on-site services, monitoring, consulting, and training, repairs, overhauls, and maintenance, spare parts and spare part solutions, finally upgrades and replacements. In order to extend the lifetime of a heat exchanger, Kelvion offers services with many years of experience know-how for all stages of the product life cycle. Starting with pre-commissioning and startup services to make sure the proper equipment installation and startup, through timely maintenance and repairs of certain parts, secure critical spare parts on due time, up to the replacement or general upgrade whenever it is required, and therefore ensures 100% efficiency of the heat exchanger. All Kelvion services are designed and developed to bring an additional value from efficiency as well as from an uptime standpoint. And this is, of course, our contribution to the environment with longer operating time of heat exchangers and less energy wasted. Now back to the overview of all shades of green shown before, but I would like now to go and show you some details of some of them. Let's go. Let's start with a deeper dive into energy savings green shade. And as I said before, there are different ways of contributing here. Let me show you how. Here we have our first set of examples linked to our air-fin cooler audit program. This has been so far a very successful initiative, developed long time ago and oriented to run a deep analysis on how heat exchangers are operating and performing. As you can see into the slide, there are 3 critical steps that are part of our audits. Evaluate current performance by going into both media, tube and air side. Second point, provide a general report with all our findings, together with some suggested corrective actions. Last but not least, we will execute, according to our recommendations, all modifications to achieve the result highlighted by our report. Here we have the first example I would like to share with you today. An audit on all installed fans into an air-fin cooler in operation within this Thai chemical plant. You can see all the parameters collected during the evaluation phase, including airflows, static pressure, as well as power consumption and efficiency. As part of our report, different recommendations were suggested by our engineers, and the result after implementing such recommendations was a significant power consumption reduction of 35%. This previous example was our first experience with this customer as a trial. After this first exercise, we implemented an action plan towards the rest of most critical air-fin coolers inside this chemical plant. This was part of a strategic initiative launched by the energy manager from that chemical site when looking for significant energy savings in order to achieve his KPIs. This second example also shows a very similar case for another unit and a very similar power consumption reduction as well. An air-fin cooler is a slightly more complex heat exchanger, mainly because the air side is somehow harder to control. Indeed, there are different approaches to improve efficiency of these heat exchangers. In the slide, you can see all different parts evaluated during one of our audits. Starting with the blades. The profile of the blade is crucial for the efficiency of the fan. In addition, the correct selection has to be done depending on the site parameters and ambient conditions like airflow, static pressure, temperature, etc. With the inlet belts, you can also influence on the efficiency up to 3%. With regard to the drive, the modifications shown in the previous examples were about the fan efficiency, but it will be good to remember that the fan efficiency has also high dependency on drive efficiency, and therefore this is also a key element to check as part of our audit. You can achieve different efficiency depending on going with V-belt or tooth belt drives. Last but not least, number of blades on revolutions have to be chosen carefully as well. Just to finish with this case, here we show a return on investment example that we did for a refinery where 300 fans were evaluated, 30 kilowatts more per fan, and where 20% savings were achieved. Generally, based on power consumption savings, these investments have an extremely short payback time. Depending on the energy cost of the location, the payback time can go from 1 to 3 years maximum. Let's go to our next deep dive of another green shade. Now we will talk about lifetime extension and some relevant examples. I'm sure we have all experienced the challenge of a tube thickness degradation due to erosion or corrosion. When facing this emergency case, there is no time to think about a bundle replacement of your shell and tube or airfin cooler. Either you plug the tube and lose this heat transfer area, or consider our CTI technology. What is CTI technology about? CTI is about protecting or covering your existing tubes with metal slips in all types of metallurgies, including aggrading materials. We do have two potential solutions. On the left-hand side, we show you our shield seals solution. This technology repairs damaged and or leaking tube ends, including tube-to-tube sheet weldings, and prevent unnecessary retubing or plugging, while replacing the entire tube when only the first 20 or 30 centimeters are worn. It also repairs or restores tubes suffering from corrosion with full-length liners as shown above. The installation is done by using two different methods, either mechanical expansion or our CTI's full-length hybrid expansion. The second solution is what you can see on the right-hand side. Full-length tube liners are designed to restore tubes that are suffering from corrosion, either pitting or stress corrosion cracking. Those damaged tubes that in the past might require you to plug them are now returned to service. Liners can reduce fouling and increase efficiency over plain carbon steel tubes. Tube liners are designed into new heat exchanger builds to increase reliability, extend service life expectation. Here you have all benefits provided by our CTI technology at a glance. First of all, increase your plant reliability and prevent unexpected shutdowns. Second, improve your heat exchanger efficiency and reduce fouling and corrosion. Finally, reduce your OPEX and extend the lifetime of your heat exchangers. Let me show you a good return of investment achieved when using CTI technology, just as an example. In details, with regard to the main top column condenser that recovers heat from the top of the distillation column into crude oil feedstock, we evaluated the investment impact when comparing full-length tube liners with retubing. Important to highlight, this is an apple-to-apple comparison, a real one, from a material construction perspective. We consider Hastelloy C276 sleeves compared to Hastelloy C276 tubes to the existing bundle. As you can see, there is a huge impact on CapEx savings as well as on the time needed to install the sleeves compared to either buying a complete new tube bundle or retrieving it. Let's go now to our last example from today, our last shade of green, performance reliability. We in Kelvin years ago decided to extend our performance audit concept to other exchanger type like our plate and frame heat exchangers. Together with our reconditioning services, it helps to identify maintenance needs in an early stage in order to increase the process reliability and equipment performance. We strongly believe that regular performance audit helps to understand fouling behavior of your heat exchangers and therefore helps to take corrective actions as well as properly plan during the best time for your next service intervention. I guess you might still be wondering why Kelvin pushes so hard our offering towards performance audits. Let me help you here. When looking at critical heat exchangers in your plant, there is a big difference from a plant operator perspective, a regular evaluation of the performance and cooperation to your original design in clean condition, with a more proactive identification of maintenance needs, plan corrective actions, and increase the process reliability and equipment performance, rather than waiting for a critical failure and costly downtime. Having your plate heat exchanger on a performance audit program provides consistent uptime of your operation. Our audit methodology is based on a proper key parameters measurement, like temperature and flow rates for both sides. As part of our performance audit, we will provide you a detailed report where, first of all, we show you an analysis of the performance of the heat exchanger over the intervals taken for parameters measurements. Second, we will show you a comparison with design conditions and indicate performance drop or fouling evolution trend. Finally, we will provide a set of recommendations about service intervals, possible optimizations, as well as other potential actions to take. Here you have our reconditioning process details, summarized into main 10 steps. Starting with our step number 1 to 4, from a visual inspection into a deeper one when using liquid penetrant test. Now, from the step number 5, where we remove residues from the plates by different means, clean the gasket surface area, inspect, and finally replace the gaskets. And finally, the last 2 steps in order to have your plate heat exchanger ready to perform again. And I would like to finish this presentation remarking my most important message here, and this is about Kelvin brand. We are a heat transfer company. All what we do is about heat exchanger. This is where our life is and where our expertise lives, and why we have decided to extend our service offering to all types of heat exchangers, including other brands, if this is valuable to our customers. And said that, I would like to thank you for your attention. Hope to see you soon. Goodbye.